Our Yin Yoga practice today is about beauty. So I thought we would start with just a little seated meditation. So find a comfortable place to sit, maybe on top of a blanket, with your legs crossed or your legs extended, whatever feels more comfortable for your body. Sit up on a bolster if you like, or put a block under your sits bones. And then maybe just close your eyes. Start to breathe in and out through your nose. Try to make sure that your shoulders are lined up right over your hips. And as you focus on your breath, repeat this phrase: I am beautiful, and I appreciate beauty. Just about a minute here, reminding yourself, I am beautiful, guys too, and I appreciate beauty. As you breathe in this mantra, let it fill up your body and your soul with positive energy. Even though it's raining outside, it is a beautiful day. Maybe for just another couple breaths, we reflect on the beauty that the rain can bring. One more deep breath in and deep breath out. And then from here, we're going to move into a seated forward fold. You may want to sit up on your blanket. At the edge of the blanket is how I like to do it, so that it really helps me to lengthen through my spine. If you need a little bit more elevation, feel free to do that. And then we're going to gently walk our hands forward over our legs. And just see where your head comes in relation to your legs. And then we can use some props to support our head. Maybe a stack of blocks on top of your legs, resting your forehead on the top block. You can come down a little further, maybe a bolster extended over your legs, maybe extending your arms out in front of you, tucking your chin into your chest. Or maybe a combination of those things, putting a block or two under the bolster to elevate it and bring it toward you. Maybe giving it a hug. And we'll be here for 5 minutes in this caterpillar pose. As you breathe in, lengthen through your spine, and imagine the tension or stress leaving your body, making space for more beautiful energy to enter. Remember, in Yin, we don't want to overstretch. We never want to get into the deepest version of our pose. So go to that 70%. We want to make sure that once we find that comfortable spot, that we stop fidgeting and find some stillness. And then we just hold, letting gravity pull us down, getting deeper into the connective tissue. And as you relax and breathe into the pose, remember to come back to the mantra, I am beautiful, and I appreciate beauty. And 5 more breaths here. One more deep breath in and deep breath out. And then slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Remove any props that you've got on your legs. And we're just going to shift our legs to one side and come into a tabletop to start. But where we're going is deer pose. So you might want to have a blanket or your bolster behind you to elevate your sits bones. From tabletop, we're going to take 1 foot forward, let the leg rest down, and then come into kind of a seated position. So one leg is back behind you, one leg is kind of forward and bent. And you can elevate your sits bones by bringing your blanket or your bolster, depending on what kind of height you want, into this position. And you can stay right here, or you can fold a little bit forward, really stretching into this right hip. And if this doesn't work for you, an alternative is to come into a figure 4 seated pose. So taking the ankle over the left leg and then bending into that left leg and then bringing maybe your hands behind you. So again, the same almost shape of your legs here, but sometimes people cannot bend that knee backwards. So that's an alternative pose for you. Good, and then again, if you want to use your props, maybe you use a blanket, roll it up and put it under your forehead as a little bit of a pillow, leaning forward. Maybe you take a stack of blocks and lean into them. Whatever helps to support your upper body while getting this nice stretch into that right hip, making sure that you're not putting too much pressure on your knee, and elevating the sits bones will help that. You can also take that left foot out a little bit to the side if that feels better on the knee joint. Again, we don't want any issues with the knees, so back off if you need to. We'll be here for 5 minutes and then we'll switch sides. 5 more breaths here. And one more deep breath in. And deep breath out. And if you fold it forward, press into your hands and slowly sit up. And then we'll come to hands and knees again, pressing up and coming into the position on the opposite side. So bringing that left leg forward, bringing that right leg behind you, and then sitting back, maybe on top of a bolster or a block. And then when that feels comfortable and you've got your ankles squared away, then you can lean forward, finding a deeper stretch in that hip. This side might be entirely different. So just make accommodations for it, adjusting your props as needed. And again, the option to come into that figure 4 if this is not working for you would mean you would take that left foot, put it just below your right ankle, and sit up with your hands behind you. Same position of the legs, getting into the same area of your hip. And 5 minutes here. Remember to breathe into anything that feels intense, but to back off from anything that feels like pain. Finding stillness here. Once again, coming back to our mantra, I am beautiful as you breathe in. I appreciate beauty as you breathe out. Maybe considering the beauty in nature, the beauty that surrounds us in this room with all the wonderful personalities, and the beauty inside. One more deep breath in here, and deep breath out. Good, and then slowly come back up to seated. And from here, we're gonna come into shoelace pose. So a couple options for shoelace. Start with the first one, which is just one leg. We're gonna extend the left leg and take the right leg and cross it over like you'd be tying your legs into a bow. So the first option is simply like this. The second option is a little bit more intense, and you bend into that bottom leg as well, taking the feet outward and feeling this kind of in the hips, in the glutes here, and then as maybe you lean forward into the lower back. Another option for this is to do it on your back. So you would come to a reclined position. The legs are in the exact same position, right leg crossed over left. Your head comes down, maybe on top of a blanket, and then you reach for your ankles and just gently take your legs and bring them apart. You might want, if you're doing the reclined one, to take your blocks and bring them under your elbows. That way you can rest your elbows onto that while you kind of relax your upper body and just hold your legs into place. Once again, a reminder here that we're not pulling our legs as far as we can. We're just kind of going to that 70%, a deep sensation, but never pain. And then finding that stillness and holding here for 5 minutes. If you're seated, you can also feel free to use props as you lean forward to maybe elevate your head onto blocks. Maybe hold onto your feet just as a grounding feeling. Feel free to put something under your ankles or your feet if they are coming off the mat, or turn in a different direction if the floor is kind of getting in your way. And if you ever find that you come into it too deeply, feel free to start by just backing off with the folding forward and coming up a little bit. But if you have to come out of it altogether, then please do. And take another variation. Okay, so I just got 3 more minutes here, and then we'll switch sides with the opposite leg on top. Remember to come back to your breath. And remember why we do these stretches. It helps us to get into the connective tissue, getting into that tight fascia that gets that way because of stagnation, so we're seated too much, or constant repetitive movement can also cause that to happen. This fascia helps to support your joints and your muscles, but only by holding poses and stretching for long periods of time can we release that tightness. And 5 more breaths here. One more deep breath in. And deep breath out. And if you're seated, slowly come up to a straight spine. And we'll shift our legs, bringing the right leg under and the left leg over. If you've got a straight bottom leg, then just extend that and pull that right foot out to the side. If you're on your back, you're going to do the same thing, laying on your back, taking the right leg on top, maybe resting your elbows on blocks, and then just gently holding your feet in place. Share a little quote about beauty. This is from Confucius, who said, "Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it."
Five more breaths here.
And one more deep breath in. And deep breath out. And if you're on your back, start to come up to seated. If you are folded forward, start to come up as well. We're going to take our hands behind us and bring our feet in front and just do a little transitional windshield wiper here. So making sure that your knees are about shoulder distance or hip distance apart, whatever feels kind of good to you. And then letting the knees fall to the right, and then letting them fall to the left. So just take that 4 or 5 times here. Kind of releasing any tension that started to occur in the hips. Good, and maybe it feels good to hover on one side, or to maybe move a little faster, go at your own pace. Good, and maybe just one more each way. And then from here we're going to come into our butterfly pose. So butterfly without any props is seated with the soles of the feet together, knees bent, like you've got some butterfly wings here. And then sit up nice and tall and maybe lean forward. But you can feel free to add props into this. You can take a blanket and sit up on it, or even sit up on a bolster if you need a little bit more height. I do like to put my sits bones just right on the edge of the blanket because it helps my spine to lengthen. And then you can make your diamond with your legs or your wings as narrow or as wide as you would like them to. The more narrow, the more it's going to get into your inner thighs. The wider they are, it's going to maybe get into a little bit more of your hips, your outer thighs, and your lower back. And then from there, you can maybe consider taking a couple of blocks in front of you to lean your forearms onto, or your upper arms if you want to have your palms facing up. You can cross your arms, bending into your elbows, and maybe even duck your chin into your chest, resting your forehead on your arms. Or if you need a little bit more height, you can also take the bolster and bring it up on any level of block so that you can lean forward on top of it. Here in our butterfly pose. And as you breathe in deeply and breathe out, maybe you imagine your wings, your legs, unfolding, ready to embrace beauty and joy. Getting back to our mantra, I am beautiful. And I appreciate beauty, like the butterflies and the birds. And 5 minutes here. One more deep breath in. And deep breath out. And then start to slowly roll up. Coming up to seated. And then from here, we're going to move into a dragonfly pose. And you might want to grab your strap for this and maybe have your blocks also available. As you know, I like to make sure that my heels are right on the mat, so feel free to turn in one direction or the other so that you're using the mat in the long way. Good, and then from here, we're going to do a dragonfly folding forward to start, and then we're going to shift our body to position our torso over our right leg and then over our left leg. So we're going to take 3 minutes for each position. So we'll start in the center. Once again, you can bring your blocks with your bolster, so that when you lean forward, you can rest your upper body, stretching through your lower body. You can let your feet fall a little bit forward, unlike the typical yang pose where you really want to keep it upright. Just let them fall in wherever they want to be. And maybe as you're here in this dragonfly pose, you imagine a dragonfly dancing on the water, reflecting the beauty and the wonder of life. And you back to your mantra once again. I am beautiful as you breathe in. I appreciate beauty as you breathe out. And 2 more minutes here. You rest into this position, notice if anything shifts or changes in your body. Do you sink deeper into the bolster? Do you feel any movement in your legs, giving in to the weight of the torso coming forward? Just notice the movement. And 3 more breaths here. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Breathing in, I am beautiful. And breathing out your appreciation for the beauty around you. One more deep breath in. And deep breath out. Good, and then we'll slowly lift our torsos up. And we'll take maybe our strap and bring it so that it's reaching over our right foot. Keeping the left leg just where it is, we're just gonna turn our torso and then maybe pull into the strap a little bit to lean over that right leg. You don't wanna use the strap, that's totally okay too. And you can take maybe your blocks and line them up on the opposite sides of your leg. Maybe bring the bolster over the blocks, maybe even take the strap over that, if you would like. Again, not pulling into something deeper, just using the strap as a little bit of a stability, keeping you centered. In 3 minutes here. And 5 more breaths here. And 1 more deep breath in. And deep breath out. And then instead of rolling up, take your hands and bring them to the mat. And just start to walk them to the center, keeping your torso as low as you can. And then over to the left leg. Maybe bringing your strap and your blocks with you. Trying to keep that right sits bone grounded as you reach toward your left foot with maybe your strap, or build your little bridge with the blocks and the bolster. And 3 minutes here.
5 more breaths here. One more deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then once again, not rolling up, but walking yourself back to the center. And then just pausing here for a moment. Maybe again trying to recognize has anything shifted? Has your body opened up just a teensy bit? And one more deep breath in here. And deep breath out. And slowly walk yourself back up to seated.
And we'll come right into Shavasana now. So zip your legs together and lay down onto your mat, or take your legs up the wall by shifting your hip all the way to the corner, the edge of the mirror and the floor, and then kind of leaning back as you lift your legs up and laying yourself back. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll out your wrists and roll out your ankles. Stay right where you are if you'd like, or make your way to a seated position. Wherever you are, bring hands to heart center. Bow your chin into your chest in honor of the beautiful light within. Remember that beauty is not just something that we see, but also something that we feel and experience. May this practice inspire you to embrace your own beauty and appreciate the beauty in the world. Namaste.